champ is here. The champ is here.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
It's all about the gold, baby. We're heading into Olympic season. It's all about the gold.
I love gold!
Do you ever notice when the Olympics come around that we all become even more tribal than we already are? We're all about whatever country it is that you're from. We become these geopolitical warlords.
You want.
That's what we become, because it's all about the gold, baby. For 4 years, how many of you watched skiing in the last 4 years? Curling, maybe a few of you. I can tell you I didn't watch any of that, but the Olympics come around, and you better believe all of it is on the telly. Especially hockey, and that's what we're here for, right? We're here to talk about Team Canada, Team USA, who's going to win it all on the men's side, and that's going to be the topic of discussion today. Everybody that I talk to right now has become a hyper-competitive hockey nationalist, and we all care. And it's kind of cool because we haven't had this sort of care for Olympic hockey in 12 years. And I love when people start getting into with Olympic hockey, like the reffing and the penalty calls and the rink sizes, and everybody's got their conspiracy theories about all these different things. And that's what happens when you play hockey in Italy, baby. That's just it. And for the next 2 weeks, we are going to see that for some people, they finally care about hockey. And the pressure sitting on the edge of their seat. And it's funny with all the stuff going on between Canada and the US right now and the animosity, and like it just feels inevitable that that's where we're going with this thing, both on the men's side and the women's side. Our self-worth as a country hangs in the balance. Can we win these gold medals? I don't know.
I don't know.
Welcome back to Mid-Ice Crisis, the show where we break down the chaos, the cold reality, and the game-changing moments in the hockey world. I'm your host, Josh Cybulski. In today's episode, we are not only going to preview men's Olympic hockey, we are going to talk about the absurdity of it all and why I love it. Now, if you're enjoying the show, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, drop a rating. It helps this show reach more fans just like you. Let's get into it. I love that the NHL finally said, fine, we're going to send our best players in the world to pretend that the Olympics are still relevant. And they are, obviously. Everybody's excited about this. The NHL, hard to really say. Does Gary Bettman even have a bone in his body that can get excited? Don't know. Probably not without a pill. But the players are back for the first time since 2014, and I'm excited about it. We got Sidney Crosby, we got Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Kel McCarr, all playing. Austin Matthews, David Pasternak's over there, Sebastian Aho, William Nylander. They're all there. It's a global tournament. We're all excited. There is something in the middle of the hockey season that's actually worth talking about that isn't game 47 of 82. I love the fact that Team Canada, and this never happens for the country of Canada, we never get to play the supervillain. But in men's Olympic hockey, we get to play the supervillain. That's fun. That's fun to me. And it's probably the only thing that's really all that fun about the whole thing, other than, watching the games. Let's take a look here. We're going to do a little preview of Team Canada. No, again, Team Canada, 5-0 win earlier today against Czechia. And I'll be honest, Canada was absolutely dominant. They decimated Czechia. The worry about Team Canada's goaltending, didn't need to worry about anything today. Binnington did what he had to do. We'll see how that story develops as we go forward. But again, let's have a quick look here. Team Canada, friends of the show. This is what we're rocking right now. And I don't know that I love the line combinations. And this is get mixed and matched and messed up a little bit. But I got to tell you, when I came in and I saw Marner flanking Crosby to the left and Stone to the right, I was like, blah. I don't love that. But after watching them play in game one of this thing, I got to say, I liked it. Marner was fantastic for huge stretches of this game. Crosby did the Crosby thing. Mark Stone buried a beautiful goal on a unbelievable feed from Mitch Marner. And I love watching Mitch Marner play for Team Canada. Something really special about it. When he puts on that maple leaf, it's special. Mitch Marner, friend of the show. What can you say? I thought Celebrini was unbelievable too. Macklin Celebrini. Bo Horvat had a goal as well. It's funny. It looked like it was surgical the way Team Canada won this game today. I thought it was surgical. It was the true, it really meets the term dismantling. That's what it was. Doughty, McCarr, Perico, Taze, they're all great. What else can you say? Binnington did what he had to do. Now you look at this team, you look at their lineup, you go through the whole lineup, looking down all the way to the goaltending. You look at this team. What else can you say other than it's like somebody's playing NHL 26 with the salary cap switched off. That's what it feels like. And there's still a part of me that, and this is, I don't know why I feel this way, but it's still a part of me that with their goaltending kind of feels a little bit like they're actually an underdog here. Like our you look at the team and it's like when you have a men's league team and they just, they got a bunch of guys who maybe played in the OHL back in the day or the whatever, WHL, they played major junior hockey and you just got you got me out there and I can barely skate, but I'm the goalie. Now, I'm not saying Binnington can barely skate, but that's kind of what it feels like, right? Like their goaltending was patchwork together. It's a beer budget goalie. That's their goaltending. We're on a beer budget. And we got the salary cap turned off for our defense and our forward group. That's what Team Canada feels like. Now, Canada is not the underdog in this whole thing. That's just the truth. They are probably the definition of an Olympic favorite, if there ever was one. But what's kind of interesting about this being in Canada is that our psyche as Canadians is it's ours to lose, right? The gold is ours to lose. That's the way Canadians see it. Anything less than gold, like a silver, failure. If we want a bronze medal, it's like an existential collapse of the country. Like we're going to have meetings in Parliament about this whole thing. Winning gold for Canada is not some... It's sad to say, but it'll feel a bit like a victory, but really it's kind of the expectation, which is what worries me about this team. That's a lot of pressure to put on a team. I know pressure makes diamonds and whatever cliches you want to use, but that's tough. That's a lot of pressure, whole nation on your shoulders. And then you've got, I think I'm a little hot on the mic today. Better turn it down. Let's talk about America. USA. I love Americans, mostly. Not your government so much, but I love Americans. The Americans have assembled quite an interesting roster. I don't really know what I have to say about it. It's they could have put together. I don't love some of what they did with their roster. And I'm going to pull it up here in a second, but I got to say there's a little bit left to be desired in this roster. So let's have a real look at it here. So obviously you've got the Taychuk brothers, got Eichel, Matthews, Gensel, Boldy. You look through their lineup. I don't love him. I don't love JT Miller for them. I love it for Canada, but with the year he's had, don't know if I love it, but is what it is for them. But that's a hell of a lineup. There's no denying it. You look at their back end too. Quinn Hughes, McAvoy, Faber, Slavin, Borensky, Sanderson. Pretty damn good. And then their goaltending. This is going to be an interesting development to watch. Hellebuck and Ottinger. Hellebuck's had a hell of a year. Ew. But, yeah, like there's some pieces that got left off of this roster that you just kind of look at it and you go, yeah, maybe they'll be fine. They got a lot of scoring. They got a lot of sandpaper. You don't know how Matt Tkachuk's going to hold up. I guess we're going to see, but if this was a movie, it's not really, their roster is not quite living up to the big blockbuster. It's more of like a, not an indie film, but like more of like a $25-30 million middle of the road film. It's a bit of a detective story. It's going to probably do well at the box office, but I think there's bits missing where you're just like, I don't know that I love that. I really don't know how this third line is going to fare out. Connor, Larkin, Thompson. I love Dylan Larkin. I love Kyle Connor in a scoring role. I don't know how they're going to deploy him here. Like if there's some expectation of him, playing more of a defensive role, I guess we'll see. But Tage Thompson, obviously a solid player as well. Is this American team going to outstructure the Canadians? I don't really know. I think this team is going to probably try to beat the shit out of the Canadians, try to punch their way through the Canadians. They're going to win some ugly games, I believe. They're going to try to punch your face through your face. But there are some bits and pieces on that roster where you're like, beyond that second line, on that second line, is that a tough second line? Probably not. Jake Gensel, probably maybe one of the best players in the NHL to find open ice. He's really good at finding space. Not so good playing in the traffic. We'll see how that goes. But, he can stand up for himself. Austin Matthews, kind of more of the same. We got two cultures kind of going head-to-head between Canada and the U.S., and America's going to play, a pretty smash-mouth, chaotic type of style. I mean, Canada can do that too. Canada's got some grit. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be interesting to see when they inevitably face off what that's going to look like. Short tournaments, right? That's something that everybody's going to have to think about when it comes to these two teams. Short tournament. Chaos can win a short tournament. Chaos is tough over an 82-game season. Regular season in the NHL, that's tough to bring it every night. But in a short tournament, I kind of like the chaos. I think it fares well. We're going to see. We're going to see how it plays out. But there are some other teams in this tournament, believe it or not, beyond Canada and the U.S. And it does feel inevitable that this thing's coming. It's coming down to Canada and the U.S. But a few other teams, talk about them a little bit. We got Team Finland. Pull up their lines here. Now, I don't think Finland's going to do a whole lot in this tournament, personally. Certainly some talent, but, if we're in this tournament, Mikael Granlund's in your top six, not ideal. But, pretty solid down the middle. Eric Haula, too. That's your fourth line. Armia, Haula, Tolvanen. Good NHLers. Like, nothing wrong with them. But in this tournament, you're matching up against Team Canada, and Team Canada is going to roll out effectively what is a first line. They're going to roll out some combination like Bo Horvat and Brad Marchand and maybe a Reinhardt in there. It's hard to really say, but yeah. Finland, decent enough team. Look at their back end. That's a pretty solid top pairing. You got Heiskanen and Lindell. That second pairing, though, nothing wrong with Mikkola, but like Ristolainen, Ridley. Olli Mata on the third pairing. Olli Mata skates like he's in quicksand. That's going to get exposed pretty quick when it comes to Finland. And I don't really see them making, much of a play here in this tournament. I think the bigger threat is probably going to be Sweden. Let's pop over here to Team Sweden. This is, I think, outside of Canada and the U.S., Russia's not here for reasons. This is probably the biggest threat you got. That's a solid, solid top line. I don't love their center depth, personally. I think that's their weak point. Eriksson Ek, great player. Do you want him as your top center in this tournament? Do you want Lindholm even in your top 6, the way he's been playing? I don't know. It's a good third line, though. Pettersson, Raquel, Zibanejad, if that is what they're going with. Not bad. Look at their defense. Forsling and Dahlin, that's pretty solid top pairing. Broberg, Carlson, it's all right. Carlson's rejuvenated this year. We'll see how he plays in the tournament. Then you got Hedman and Rasmus Anderson on the third. That's pretty solid. Defense core, pretty terrific. Going back to their goaltending. Markstrom, Gustafsson. I mean, I got to think if they're going to go anywhere, it's going to be with Gus the Bus. Not so much Markstrom, but we'll see how it all plays out. Short tournament, right? You're going with the hot hand. Markstrom heats up. That's who you're going with. We shall see. See where it all goes. But, I mean, you could keep going on and on and on through all the teams. But, I don't think Czechia's got much. Germany's got a couple nice pieces. They got Draisaitl, obviously. They got Stützle. I think Sweden is the best bet to be kind of a dark horse pick. Sweden's always there, right? They're sort of that. If you wanted to call them a villain, they're more of a sophisticated villain, I'd say. They always seem to just find a way to carve out good games in the tournament, and they can knock anybody off. I mean, they could beat Canada. I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility. Why not? Something always elegant and kind of icy about the way Sweden plays. They're very structured. They wait for you to make mistakes. Again, in a short tournament, if you can just play mistake-free hockey and let your opponent, you can kind of rope-a-dope a win against a better team, and that's what Sweden, historically has been able to do. Sweden. IKEA, right? The minimalist. That's kind of what Sweden's hockey team is too. Little rope-a-dope. Minimalist hockey team. And they will find ways to ruin your day. And in a tournament like this, could be your whole tournament. But, a few other teams, I don't see really anybody else stepping up. Could Slovakia have an upset? I don't know, I guess. But you look at this tournament, it's really, to me, it's a 3-horse race. Some combination of Canada, US, and Sweden is going to go gold, silver, bronze. We'll see. That's why you play the games, right? That's why you play the games. And make no mistake, for most people looking at the Olympics, it's all about hockey. Men's and women's. People lean towards the men's, but, the women's hockey is exciting too. And for a lot of Canadians, I can tell you, talking to people, my friends, it does feel like this is big for the pride of Canada to win this thing. Not so much for the Americans. They got some shit going on in America right now. I don't think Thomas Massey is really thinking oh boy, I hope the boys come out. I hope the boys come out and put on a good performance in men's Olympic hockey. I don't think Pam Bondi's thinking about it. Kash Patel, any of them. One thing that's really been kind of funny is when I see boomers getting excited about this. I see Gen Zers. Everybody's kind of getting excited, and it really brings out sort of the disconnect hockey fans have. And this is a little bit offside, but it's kind of funny to see boomers who still completely against analytics, things like that. You say Corsi and they think you're talking about some dish in Italian or something. And then you've got the Gen Zers who, some of the ones I talk to rely heavily on the analytics and projections and shit like that. But that is the charm of Olympic hockey. Hockey always feels like a business, but this is like the one time where you turn it on and you look at the boards and there's not like Bet365 or all the other gambling companies every 10 seconds. Every second commercial is not a gambling commercial. That's nice. Just feels like there's more of a soul to this, which I do like. I do enjoy that part of it. Just feels less corporatized, even though it's also incredibly corporatized. But Canada, you know, I don't want to say for the soul of this country, but Canada really needs this. They need to win this thing, the hockey. But I think a lot of Americans who care a lot about hockey, they kind of feel the same way. It's just, it's not the American psyche. The biggest thing is obviously not hockey, but it feels inevitable that we're getting a Canada-US final. Not because there's any logic to it. I feel like the way of the world, it feels inevitable. And the hockey gods are going to give us whatever the maximum drama is that we can get. They're going to give it to us. Let's take the two loudest countries, boom, boom, with the biggest egos, boom, boom, who hate each other in hockey and kind of in everything these days. And let's make them kill each other at 6 a.m. for the gold medal or whenever the hell the game is. It is weird watching hockey in the morning, but I got to say, I kind of like it. Like, I watched part of today's game over my lunch break, and I kind of enjoyed it. Canadians will watch it whenever. Put it at 4 a.m, we'll be up. We'll get up. We'll get caffeinated. Do what we got to do. If we got to turn into vampires, we'd throw on the Canada jersey. We'll do that. So, who's your gold medal pick? Who's your dark horse in this tournament? I'm curious. Leave in the comments. Who do you think's going to win this thing? Who's the dark horse who could win it? Because in this tournament, nobody's safe. Canada's not safe. Anything can happen. There's no sacred bracket that's like a guarantee to win. So anything's possible. And I sincerely hope everybody enjoys it. I'm going to certainly enjoy it. Please support us by heading over to quenchhydration.ca. Use our promo code Second Story Pod. Get yourself 15% off. Again, quenchhydration.ca/Second Story Pod. Excited to see where this all goes. Obviously, it's going to take us away from NHL action for a few weeks. Got some big stuff coming up. I'm writing some of the trade deadline pieces over at PHR. And I think it's going to be an interesting period after the Olympics do end as we head into the trade deadline. And then obviously the end of the season, the playoffs. The next 4 months, 4, maybe 5, if you include the draft and free agency stuff. The next 5 months, it's a lot of exciting stuff. This is the best time of year for a hockey fan coming down the stretch. And it's kind of cool that we're not staring down game 61 of 82 right now. A little bit of a break. So I'm excited to see what happens. Hope you are too. Again, leave your comments down below. Who's winning this thing? Who's your dark horse for the Olympics? And enjoy the tournament. Take care.